Welcome back to Capitol Tonight. If you haven't heard by now, Cardinal Robert Prevost, an American, has been elected as the new pope on the second day of the conclave at the Vatican. Prevost will go by the name Pope Leo XIV and is the first American pope ever. Joining us now to share his reaction and thoughts is Dennis Poust. He's the executive director of the New York State Catholic Conference. Great to see you, Dennis. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Susan. It's great to be with you.
So what's your initial reaction?
I'm still sort of shocked, to be perfectly honest with you, as I think most people are. The idea of an American becoming pope is just such a kind of a radical concept to us. We're such a young church in so many ways. You know, we think of our country as being old, but it's pretty young, and we're a fairly young church. And you know, there are something like 70 countries, you know, with voting cardinals, and for an American to emerge was really not what many people expected. I saw his name here and there, but you know, not among the top contenders. So we're just thrilled. We're excited to learn more about him. He's got a great history and background, and we believe this could be a great moment for the church in the United States.
Apparently, he speaks multiple languages. He's a very learned guy. He's from the Order of St. Augustine. For those that are unfamiliar, including myself, what kind of papacy might we expect?
Well, you're right. He's a learned man. He is a canon lawyer, which is good. So he's familiar in church law. But so he was a member of the Augustinians, which is a not that well-known order, and they're focused on sort of walking together with the community in prayer, seeking God, and intellectual pursuits as well. They run Villanova University. So for folks in the United States who are basketball fans, I think you have a friend at the Vatican. But if you look at his history, so he was born in Chicago, but he's only spent about a third of his life in the U.S. As a young priest, he became a missionary in Peru, and later became the head of the Augustinians there, and then a bishop of a diocese in Peru. And in the past few years, Pope Francis had appointed him to a very high office at the Vatican, the dicastery for bishops, which is literally the office that helps to select bishops for all over the world. The Pope would have to approve, but the bishop appointments come out of that office, and sort of overseeing of bishops comes out of that office. So a very critical post that he held at the Vatican.
The Archdiocese of New York is the second largest in the U.S. What does having an American pope mean for churches here in New York?
I think it could be a moment of renewal. We loved Pope Francis, and we loved Pope Benedict and Pope John Paul, but now we've got a hometown kid. Okay, Chicago, not exactly hometown for us here in New York, but sure, close enough. And I think that it'll be wonderful to have a pope who speaks American English comfortably and can communicate with us directly. I would hope and pray that he would come visit us here in the United States soon. I think it's just really a moment of national pride, not just for Catholics, but for all Americans. You know, that we could look and see one of our own, becoming the successor of St. Peter. It's just an exciting time to be a Catholic here in America.
So Dennis, this is a political show, as you know. On social media, Pope Leo previously shared criticism that others had of the Trump administration, of some of their policies, including immigration. What kind of influence can a pope have on American politics?
Well, a pope isn't a politician, right? And those tweets would have been obviously before he was pope, but yeah, it gives us a sense that of where he stands, which is where the church stands, which is where Pope Francis stood, and where Cardinal Dolan stands when it comes to immigration, right? The church has always been a friend of migrants, and will speak out on behalf of them. And I think that's where, in his days as a cardinal, the new pope was sort of chastising a little bit the vice president in his understanding of, the concept of ordered love or ordo amoris, which is the Latin term that the vice president used sort of incorrectly. So I think that, it could be interesting times. We know how the president, this current president will react to criticism sometimes. So if there is criticism coming from the Vatican, I guess maybe it'll get uncomfortable. But I think that Pope Leo is obviously, from what I understand about him, very careful in his language, very careful in how he says things. He's very thoughtful. I don't think he's going to shoot from the hip, certainly. And I think you probably won't see as many of those airplane freewheeling press conferences that you saw with Pope Francis. So I think when he has something to say, if he does have a criticism of U.S. policy, whether it be on immigration or abortion or anything else, I think he's going to be very deliberate and careful about how he does it.
We only have seconds, but do you think that he is more of a liberal or a conservative in under the umbrella of Catholicism, or is he sort of down the middle?
Boy, I think we're going to find out, because sometimes when with popes, you think you're getting one thing and you get the complete opposite. It's kind of like a Supreme Court justice, you know, and you know, people expected. You know, when Pope Francis came in, he had this reputation as being sort of an authoritarian leader of the Jesuits, and he turned out to be this sort of humble, gregarious guy. And so I think we still have to learn a little bit. But I think, you know, and again, the terms liberal and conservative don't really work as much when it comes to the church. As you know, Susan, we are very liberal on some issues like immigration and very conservative on others like abortion. So I think he'll be a Catholic. How's that? Rather than a liberal or conservative.
Well said. We've been speaking with Dennis Poust. He's from the New York State Catholic Conference about the first ever American Pope. Dennis, thank you.
Thanks, Susan. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.